Alright, hello and welcome everybody. Today is Sunday, August 8th, 2021. And tonight I'm coming at you guys with, I'm sure, a long-awaited fire alarm update. That's right. I'm giving the fire alarms a try again in this space down here. I got all my stuff set back up. It's been a while since you guys have heard from me. In general, this year, as always, my uploads have been very scarce. I haven't uploaded a whole lot. I've gotten a couple elevator videos out and whatnot, but not a lot with the fire alarms. And if you guys watched my update that I posted sometime last fall, I want to say around October, I kind of gave an update as to what was going on with the fire alarms and everything like that. Our basement around, I want to say June last year, suffered more flooding. And you guys can see up here, our association was just here last week and the week before doing some major repair to the cracks, these cracks in the foundation. You guys can see the repair in here. Just so you guys know, I'm not joking about this crap that my mom has been dealing with since she's been in this house. Last year, they cut this out. I tried to push it back in the best I could to make it look somewhat acceptable. But I had my fire alarm shelf here last year, and I had all this stuff set up pretty much just the way it is. And around June, sometime in June, I was at work. We were having a bad rainstorm, and my mom messages me, yeah, your stuff's directly in the path of this water that's seeping in the corner. And it's all connected, you know, what should I do? And I said, please, if you can, just cut every wire you see that's connecting everything together and get it moved out of the way, which she kindly did for me. And once again, the panels and all my alarms went into storage for a little while, but there's been many more repairs done, both on the inside and the outside of the building, to the foundation. And since all these repairs are done now, I decided to pull this stuff back out and give it another try. On top of that, we have not had a drop come in this year, even with the storms we've had. So it's looking pretty hopeful, at least for getting this stuff up and running for the rest of the year, and hopefully into early next year, if not longer. So like I said, I have everything set up here pretty much the same way it was last year. I think I mentioned I had a collection shelf there. When I moved that, the whole thing just pretty much ended up coming apart. It was probably one of those pieces of crap from IKEA or whatever. The back came off, and then the whole thing just fell apart after I pulled all the alarms out of it and tried to move it. So my whole alarm collection is back in the bins, and all this stuff has pretty much been sitting in the laundry room. So I pulled it back out. And one of the most discouraging things last year I noticed, thankfully all this stuff was able to be moved out of the way in time before the water came in and had a chance to get to any of it and cause damage. But the 4005 somehow ended up suffering damage, which I think it's just that moisture got into it. I have no idea how, no idea why, but I'll show you guys here. And thankfully, I didn't get completely screwed here. As you guys can see, this is my CPU, which, by the way, as you guys know, I just replaced the CPU probably 2 or 3 years ago. This screen, everything on here, pretty much everything in this panel was replaced since I bought this panel from eBay. Damaged from what I suspect to be a lightning strike. So I replaced pretty much everything in this panel. Dialer card's original, power supply's original, but it has a ground fault in it somewhere that is probably not fixable. It just needs a whole new power supply. But CPU, power distribution card, my zone and NAC relay cards in this panel were all replaced out of junk panels. But as you guys can see here, my membrane keys, which are these guys here, they took some water damage, or at least moisture damage. I don't know how but they got all pruny, and I posted about this last year, and I'm pretty sure these guys are just done for. I don't even want to power this panel up and give them a try because they're probably not going to work. Fortunately, being that I replaced the CPU in this thing, something just told me to keep these laying around. And as you guys can see, these membrane keys are in perfect shape, and it's pretty darn easy to replace this. It's a very easy, probably one of the easiest parts to replace on this panel, the screen cover with the membrane keys. And hopefully get this cranked out pretty quick. That's going to be going in the garbage. Like I said, it's the weirdest thing too, because I got damage to the alarm acknowledge, the trouble acknowledge, and the system reset. The supervisory acknowledge and the alarm silence, just like no moisture got in there, so I'm not sure if it's the way it's assembled, where moisture is easy to get in the middle and on the ends, I don't know. And none of these ones suffer damage at all, so it's just really, really weird, the damage that this thing took. I'm going to make that a project pretty soon here, when I get some time to replace that so I can get my 4005 back up and running. Now, if you guys follow my Facebook and Instagram page, oops, well, that's great. If you guys follow my Facebook and Instagram page, which pretty much nobody follows my Facebook, considering deleting my page on Facebook because it's so not popular, but the Instagram seems to be, plenty of people still looking at my posts on Instagram. I was doing some snooping around on the Facebook Marketplace and on Craigslist, like I always do. I'm always on the lookout for fire alarm stuff. If anyone just happens to post stuff that they took out of a building or whatever, and it's cheap and it's a good price, I'll go check it out. I was looking around on Craigslist, and I happened to find a post about a school demolition up in Cary, Illinois, which, for those who don't know, Cary is a small town just north of Algonquin. And like I said, it was actually a fairly new school building that was being demolished, and the owner of the building, the owner of the property, tearing the building down and building apartments, ended up having a company come in and do a demolition sale, which is not common, especially in commercial buildings. So anyway, I did a lot of driving back and forth. It took a little while, but I hit this sale and ended up with all this stuff. That's right. I have a second Simplex 4010 panel, a 4081 battery cabinet / charger, small handful of SmartSync True Alerts, some poles, and a couple smoke detectors. So basically I went up there, tagged all the stuff. The system had not been shut down when the sale was open to the public. The system had not been shut down. It was funny because the guy at the sale was telling me, oh yeah, everything's been shut off. You know, the horn strobes, there were a couple of them that actually had price tags hanging from them. It was still an active system, and the guy told me everything had been disconnected. I'm like, no, it hasn't been. And what was very funny is after I left the sale, someone was trying to remove a sink from this building, and they were sawing, and they created so much dust, got into one of the detectors and set the system off. So I thought that was pretty funny. I wish I could have been there to see that, but this is a fairly new 4010 system. Based on everything I looked at and the dates in there, it looks to have been installed around 2008, which is still fairly new. Like I said, this building and all the fixtures in it appeared to be very new. So and it had been closed for 3 years. So not a very long time for this this little high school. It looked like it was a school for the challenged. It was a high school, but it was a very small building. But it had this 4010 with a bunch of other components. There was a 4009 ID-Net NAC extender down the hallway in one of the electrical closets, and then it had this 4081 battery cabinet, which I have actually never seen this before in my life. But it's very neat because it's got the cabinet, the charger, and 2 batteries in it, which, as you guys know, I always have battery troubles on these panels because I've never had batteries on my system, because I figure my systems are never powered on constantly, and I just don't want, it's just not worth it to leave them powered on constantly and have batteries in them just to keep the troubles clear if it's just a hobby system. But I figured I couldn't pass this up. I got this battery cabinet for $65 with batteries. This thing says the batteries were replaced back in 2019, but according to the guy, I guess one of the maintenance guys from the building was there. He's like, oh yeah, the fire department just came in and replaced these. We got a nice pair of large, beefy Interstate batteries here, and Interstate is awesome. I got an Interstate battery in my truck. It's what we use in our school buses at work. So Interstate is just awesome. And like I said, I got this panel was probably hundreds, if not a couple $1,000s new, and I got it for 65 bucks. So I will now have space to keep batteries. I'm gonna have a battery charger and battery backup for at least one of my systems, so no more trouble. The 4010 I landed for 75 bucks, which incredibly this one is in better shape than the one I currently have, and I got this one for $125 off of eBay, so I got a better deal on this one, and there's a good possibility this one is even newer. Thing I noted about this one is the cosmetic condition of the front door. This one I got from an electrical surplus auction about 2 years ago. I've had this panel for at least 2 years, probably just over 2 years, and it's just not in the best shape, and it's always been missing the key lock. I've looked up and down for a key lock. Simplex B key or not, that'll fit this door, and every lock I've tried like 2 different locks, and all of them the little mechanism is too long and it doesn't allow the door to close, or it's not the right, different part of the lock just doesn't fit. So I haven't had any luck finding a good replacement key lock for this, but then like I said, I saw this guy and it's got a working key lock, and this guy seems to be in overall better shape, even though there's absolutely nothing wrong with this panel. I'll show you guys inside. As you guys can see, here's all the information for the school, which I don't care about sharing because this was all public information when the building was open to the public, so for the sale. But take off the dress panel here, got the dress panel, and obviously I actually went up there with my coworker to get some other stuff for my boss from the building. We got him 2 projection screens, but my coworker Steve was able to help me pull this thing out, and it was flush mounted into the front vestibule, in the wall in the front vestibule, so you can see the paint. They've painted over it at least once, repainted it, so that's about where it was. It was a beautiful flush mount job. Pain to get out, this thing put up a fight, but just took out all the conduit, all the screws, cut the wires where they were, and I walked out a very happy camper with a nice 4010 panel that should be in perfect working order. So the rest of the system, I didn't get everything on the system because he was charging for everything, and it obviously wasn't worth it to get everything, and I'm not even going to be keeping all this. But we got a bunch of 4906-9127 SmartSync True Alerts, which ironically, with all the Simplex stuff I have, I do not have any 9127s. I had one a long time ago, got rid of it, and now I have a bunch of 9127 SmartSync True Alert horn strobes. And like I said, I won't be keeping all this stuff. I realize I got an excessive amount of stuff. I might even end up maybe keeping 2 of them and giving away 3 of them free on my YouTube channel. I don't know. I've never done a giveaway on this channel, so possibility. Got a couple 4906-9101 remote strobes. SmartSync 2. Obviously these are all SmartSync, so they were all operating on the same 2-wire pair over the SmartSync circuit. So that's pretty cool. SmartSync is a pretty neat system. And a bunch of 4099-9003 pull stations, all in excellent condition. I took it out of this one, but the rest of these you guys can see in there. They do have the brake rods in them, all of which are in good shape, and Simplex charges a crap ton for those. So I know Simplex has come out with a lot of new technology too, so believe it or not, all this stuff is considered obsolete at this point because they've come out with the new ES line, all that garbage. So anyway, and smoke detectors. These are some of the first smoke detectors in my collection. Actually, I had a bunch of old Cerberus Pyrotronics detectors a long time ago, all of which I had hooked up to my Simplex 4004 and fried the crap out of them. So, but these are addressable 4098 smoke detectors. I believe they're ionization. They could be photoelectric. I don't know. Maybe they're combo detectors. Maybe they're both. But obviously these will only work with the 4010s as they are addressable. But yeah, I got a pretty good deal on all this stuff, and I'm very happy with what I brought back. A lot of you are probably wondering now, what am I going to do with two 4010s? And I don't plan on keeping both of them, as much as I absolutely love this one. I've been using it for the past, like I said, 2 or so years. And it's just a really awesome panel. For being from an electrical surplus store on eBay, I expected it to have issues, and it has worked absolutely flawlessly. So, but being that this one is in worse shape, and this better shape is what I was looking for, I'm thinking I'm going to keep this one. And the old one, I'm guessing right now I'm going to put up for sale on eBay, and it's not going to be some crazy price like everyone else is charging for the 4010s. I'm thinking I'll put this one back with the price that I got it for, but with the guarantee that it actually works, which I did not have when I bought it. So but yeah, it's looking like this will be my new 4010. This one has a couple more. I'll show you guys really quick. It's got a couple more things than that one does. It's got a couple expansion cards in here. I've only got one expansion card in those slots. In the other one, it's got your city card, obviously, which was connected to the radio transponder. Let me go ahead and take this key out, and I'll put this dress panel back on. There we go. Then close this guy up. Take a quick look in my old one, which of course I don't need a key for. Pop this dress panel off. This one, as you guys can see, I don't have the city card on this one, and I only have one expansion module. I have to look it up and see what these expansion modules even are. I don't know exactly what they do. This one looks older. Specifically, I believe this is the polling module right here. This is different on this panel. So I'm thinking, knowing this one is from 2008, I'm thinking this one might be a slightly newer system, but I plan on doing more research. And also, some point in this video, either at the end or somewhere in between, I'll splice in some video. I took some video of my coworker and I going to get this stuff, and a couple of videos, not taking out the panel, but at least taking out a couple of these pull stations, which I think came out pretty good. They're neat, and I think you guys will enjoy them. So anyway, as of right now, my game plan is to go through all this stuff, inspect it, make sure no damage other than the membrane keys on the 4005 occurred. I'm going to go through and make sure these panels are working, hook them back up, and at the same time I will also be powering up this guy. Obviously it's going to have probably in excess of 50, if not maybe 100 troubles on it, because it's going to be missing everything that's in the building, and all the connections are going to be gone. So it's going to be fun going through and putting this thing back to factory configuration, if I can even get into it. I'm hoping that the level 4 programming password has been defaulted, and if not, hopefully I can use that trick that I used to get into that one to get into this one. But if I can't, that'll be a little bit of a barrier, and this one will be put on the back burner and I will continue to use that one. So right now this stuff is all kind of on hold. I've been very busy at work, and I'm trying to make time for this stuff and trying to make time to film more of these videos, get this system back up and running, and make some system tests for you guys, get the amplifier going again. You know, I was really having a lot of fun with that last year before our basement flooded again, so I'm really trying my best here, guys, and hopefully I'll have some new content out for you guys soon. So stay tuned. I'll let you guys know I already have people, believe it or not, that are interested in the old 4010, so I have to decide what the fair thing is to do with that. So really appreciate you guys watching, and stay tuned for further updates. See you later. So today we're going to pick up the fire alarm system that I purchased, and we're getting a couple of other things as well for our boss, which is why we're in the school bus. So we're running a little wheelchair bus here so we can bring all our tools and everything we need, but we're getting our boss a couple projection screens for our safety meetings and everything, so it's a great time to kill two birds with one stone. There's the school over there, you see it? Yep. That's where we're going. They're gonna, like I told you, Steve, they're gonna demolish this place, and they're gonna put apartments here. See all the new houses they're putting up over here?
Oh yeah.
These look like older houses over here. They got a bunch of new houses they're building, and he told me these are gonna be luxury apartments, I think. Hey, I'll tell you something pretty cool. This will be the last school bus to ever come into this school. If school buses even ever did. So I'm gonna go over by the entrance. Over here. There's other people here today getting their stuff. I gotta make enough room for the wheelchair lift. I think that will be it. This is how you remove a true alert. Once you have that off, now you can access your mounting screws. Not quite. Back it out. There we go. Come off like that. Snip. 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 And snip. And we got her. Simple as that.
that back on. That's that.